Crusaders. My name is Dr. Detroit. I thought I would give you 7 great tips on starting out your campaign. Some you may know, but some you may not. And if you listen to the end, I've got a bonus tip for you as well. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, one of the best ways to get started is to create your own character. And I'll show you why that's a big bonus. So you click New Game, we'll say 867 Start, just because I'm so familiar with it. Then you're gonna pick where you want to start. Let it load up the map here. There we go. So to create your own character, of course you're going to pick where you want to start. And being the latest download content for the game right now is the northern flavor content for the Vikings. So what about this one here? And we'll say create your own ruler. And we'll go with, we're going to go with male. And there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. Number one, if you're very young or very old, see right now, if you see, I'm using 133 customization points. One of the best ways to do it, I mean, you get extra if you decrease his age. Obviously, you see, the younger you are, the more points you have. But then once you're getting into like 10 years old, you gotta wait before you can declare war. You gotta wait before you can do a lot of things. But so, what if you were to go all the way to 70 years old? See, I'm 69 and using only 72 points. Bing, you go to 70 and you're only using 66 points. That is the maximum. You could start out at 120 years old and you're still using 66. You're probably going to die the next day. So yeah, 70 years old is one of the strongest starts. One tip as far as being 70 years old, kind of surprised me how fertile a 70-year-old is. Now, I was worried and jumped on 3 concubines to start out with, and a wife. I actually had to go celibate to keep from having more children. So here we are at 70 years old, and I'm only using 66 points, customization points. Is okay, say we're going to enter, we don't want to be poor at anything, really. I never do anyway. So we're going to say a base of 9 right now. Some traits, if your points total, see I'm up to 160 now, if your point total is high enough, some traits will actually lower the total cost of your traits. So say I want to have everything at well, say I don't know, 15. I think that's high enough to have this trait actually come in handy. Now you see I'm using 452. I'll show you one of the traits that actually makes a difference. And I think what it has to do with is the number of bonuses it gives you. And if your points are high, the higher they are, the more it costs, right? So if you get free points, it almost doesn't matter how much the trait costs. It's still going to be cheaper to buy it and to bring your point total back to where you started. So you can actually take that 452 is going to become lower, and you're going to gaining that trait. So you can get some more traits that way if you really wanted to. So just for an example, we're not going to start out with smallpox or anything like that. Shrewd. This is a good example. It gives you 2 of everything except prowess. So we're going to go ahead and get that. And notice 452. That's what we're looking to see what happens. Okay? And we're at 15. So we gain that trait. We're taking everything back to 15. And we're down to 396. So I saved 56 points by gaining a trait. That can be key if you're trying to build up a ruler with a lot of high stats. So you could start out a guy with all 15s, 70 years old, and he's shrewd, and still be under the 400 max limit that you're allowed. You're allowed 400 to play Iron Man. So as a 70-year-old, you can go for like the 15 points, pretty high score and everything. But say you're not too concerned about that. He's 70 years old. He's probably going to die soon. So we're just going to say about 9, which is the minimum. Below that is poor. 9-year score. And this you can make it whatever you want. 1 star is free. So you made him 70 years old. With all the 9s, it's 160. So say you want to make this guy pretty strong. Here's a great way to strengthen your bloodline and get it out of the way right off the bat. That's always one of the biggest hurdles, is to try to strengthen the bloodline. Well, you start out as 70 years old, going to cut back on the number of points you spent. You can still make everything average, and still, let's see, here's beautiful, here's quick, and here's hail. You say, oh, that's 420. But look, those bonuses for being beautiful, quick, and hail just brought everything up. So we can go, we're going to go down to see 10 here. We don't even need 11 prowess. We're at 401. 399 right there. So you have 10 on all your scores except 1, which is a 9. And you're first thing right off the bat, you're going to strengthen your bloodline. And so that's a hurdle that you don't have to worry about right off the bat. You started out 70, you're going to die in 10 years, and you've strengthened the bloodline already, and all your heirs are going to be inheriting traits better. And they're going to start out with better skills. You can, as well, if you wanted to, you can go genius and comely. Say 479. So let's see. Bring everything down to 9, which is still the lowest of average. That's 384, 386, 390, 94, 96, 400. So your scores are all 10s with 1 9 in prowess. You're 400. That's still below to where you can play Iron Man, and you're able to strengthen your bloodline and be a genius from the beginning, which is huge, huge, huge. The genius from the start is going to give you +5 on all your traits, which we've already used that to basically, like I said, on things that give you like a bonus on all your traits. You can back your scores off and have end up the net result is a saving on your customization points. But you have genius, and you need that to strengthen your bloodline, and you're going to be able to pass genius along to your kids more often because you've already used that to strengthen your bloodline. So that's a pretty good trick right there. So if you want to play kind of a legit game, which is Iron Man, and I always play Iron Man, and I'll say achievements not available here yet because I haven't named the fellow. First name, I don't know. We'll give him a Norse name. There. Now, game rules. Enable Iron Man. Another thing to do if you're creating your ruler, say I want all of the men-at-arms that you can hire because of the culture, the Norse culture. The new flavor pack gave lots and lots of different troop types for the Norse culture. And if you see Estonia, Finland, Sami, and I've looked, all of these don't really have any new bonuses. But Norse, it's all circled around Norse. So you kind of want to, if you want to be powerful, Norse is a good start. So you can create your character, you can be Norse, and say I wanted to start somewhere else. Your culture determines what men-at-arms you can have. So when you create your character, you can keep Norse and change your faith. And there's a reason why you might do that, and I'll show you that as well here in just a moment. But say I want to choose my faith to a Baltic faith. We'll say feudalism. So if you change your culture or change your faith, you can change your religion and keep your men-at-arms still. So you can change, you can be wherever you want and change what religion you want, or you can be wherever you want and change what culture you want. Now, the Norse culture is what's going to give you the men-at-arms, but religion is important. And the reason you may choose an area that's, say, Norse or a certain culture, one reason I chose feudalism for a reason. If you look at the holy sites, in order to reform your religion, you have to have control, meaning you or one of your vassals has control of one of 3 of the 5 holy sites. There's 5 per culture or per religion. So I'm here. I'm Norse. I have their men-at-arms. I'm feudalist. So if you look at the reason for being feudalist, those 3. If you capture those 3, then you can reform your religion and go from tribal to feudal, if that's something that you're looking forward to. Now, here's an example of why you might want to do that. We're going to look at this religion here, the default Norse religion. Here's a holy site. Here's a holy site, way on the other side. Okay. There's one over here in Great Britain. There's one over here, and this is East Francia. There's one over here. So out of the way, I can't find it there. That's the East Francia. So we got East Francia, we got one in Great Britain, 2 here in the Norse territory, one on one end and one on the other end. And there it is. All the way over here. So you got to choose 5 of those. Or you got to choose 3 of those. Which 3 would you choose? That's awful hard if you're shooting to reform your religion. Okay, so, well, maybe there's another religion that's got them closer, right? That's what you're thinking? Okay, here's one that's Catholic. Here's another one that's down here in Italy. Here's another one over here in Britannia, or France, if you want to call it that. So you got Italy way up here, and kind of the border between East Francia. Well, that's more East Francia. You do have 2 close, fairly close. One of them is in Great Britain, for Catholic. But what other one are you going to get? You're going to come all the way down here to Italy? You're going to go over here to Spain? I mean, those religions are very spread out. There may be other religions that are pretty easy as well. I just know in my neck of the woods here, Vitalist is a smaller area, not too big, and there's 3 right here. There's another one here. There is one that's a little out of the way, but even if you look at it, you don't really have to go for that or go for that. If you're an island hopper, you can get this one here, and this one, which is on just the tip up here by the water, so it might be pretty easy to get. Another religion that's not too difficult is Estonia. Ukanusko is the religion, and it's this is in Estonia. This is just outside of Estonia, and then you could go way over here. You don't want to do that. There are 3 fairly close. Or you go. This is in Prussia, so that's doable. It's a little tougher here, and here, but I'm telling you, Vitalist has got to be one of the easiest. But I'm just saying, consider the fact that you can change the religion and keep your culture. So you may tweak your ruler how you want that to be. Another thing to consider is your start locations. Some things can be made easier. Say I do start here, and there's a reason I picked that place, is because this is a chiefdom of Gotland, and that's the Duchess of Visby. And look, there's only one place that's the Duchess of Visby. Is that good or is that bad? Well, I'll tell you what. If you're going to make allies, if you haven't noticed, people are more likely to ally with you if you are a higher or equivalent title than they are. So when you're just a county, if you say try to ally with the High Chief of Prussia, he's probably not going to do it unless you have no allies whatsoever. But you may have 1 or 2. If you go ahead and claim the Duchy of Visby, you don't have to gain any more land, and he's going to jump on the chance to be your ally. So some things like that are there to consider. Another really good one is Bohemia. Which is right here, and I'll show you why that. So if he starts out with all of this land, and he's Czech. So you go to the duchy. He doesn't start out owning all that personally, but the Duchy of Bohemia and the Kingdom of Bohemia, it's the same size. You don't have to gain any more land. That's a kingdom right there. And it's also the duchy. So if you could take this, you only have to control this land. So that would be number 5, tip number 5. So some of the better locations for reforming, of course, feudalism would be one of the best religions for reforming. Another tip: location and technologies. Say you know that your culture and the culture head, his points go towards reforming culture. And if you ever notice and look close, you'll see the average development of your culture. Okay, say your culture is Norse. Okay, and you start out owning this area over here. Well, your culture is going to take the average of all of this, everybody in that area. Look at Russia. It's going to take the average of everybody that's Russian. To make that easier, for one, Latgalian. That's another reason why I like Latgalian, is because it's a smaller area of culture. It's only basing the average culture on who owns this chunk of land, unless you expand it. And one reason Bohemia is great to play tall is because this is the only place that starts out with the Bohemian culture. Whoops, wrong button. Which is Czech. All of Czech is here. You can have the Duchy of Bohemia. You can have the Kingdom of Bohemia. And all of your kingdom is the entire same culture. And it's all going to be based on your average, your own average. And you have enough to get to own all of this personally. And incidentally, since we're on this subject, this is a little extra tip. If you've not looked into Bohemia, Pilsen, size 6. Right beside it, which is also in Bohemia, is Doodleby, which is also size 6. And what is the de jure capital of Bohemia is right in the middle, and it's also size 6. And if you know about growth, if you want to grow fast, your growth, say you get this up to level 10, you're only working on this one site. All of these other counties that are connected, and you're kind of in a circle, you're in the middle of a circle, the growth spreads and moves outward. So all you have to do is concentrate on growing the development of Praha, and the rest of Bohemia is going to benefit from that and grow faster. So that's a big plus, especially once you reform, because once you reform, your power is going to be enhanced by the size of your development. A bonus tip. I promised you at the beginning of the video that I would give you a bonus tip. One good bonus tip is, say I'm over here in okay, I've taken all of Lithuania, and I own, I don't know, Estonia. I'm right here. This is my kingdom. there's a war over here, and I want to go help out. I can march all the way over here and get raided like crazy, and my troops are way over here. There's nothing I can do about it. I could disband or something, if possible. Generally, you have to be in your own land to disband during a war like this. But here's a tip. You're marching, if you got a whole lot of, if you have a whole lot of champions or knights, whichever they're called if you're feudal, take your weakest one. You don't have to give him any troops whatsoever, and just park him somewhere in your land where you want to avoid getting raided. Say this is your kingdom head, or this is your main place, and you definitely don't want raided there. Take your one knight and park him right there, and almost guaranteed they're not going to raid you, because they just look at it as the fact that it's an army. They kind of overlook your area because you have an army parked there. Just one little man. I know during the start of 867, I went off to help somebody and left. I noticed I was getting raided over here with like 4,500 men. I sent one champion, and he came to right here and stopped. And this guy stopped the raid and took off running from my one champion. So that's a pretty good tip. Keep your land safe while you're fighting in a war. And if you're one of the people like I am, I try to help out my allies. I try to look at it realistically. They do get pissed if you don't do anything at all. You could send a small force in, but really this way you could send in whatever you want. And unless somebody else declares war on you to take you while you're across the map, you're relatively safe, at least from raids. So that's a big tip right there. So to cap it off, you've got create your own character, number one. You can make him very young, but more preferably very old. Because remember, 70-year-old male is still fertile. Women, they cut off at 45. It may give you more years if they're like fecund or something like that. I'm not sure. I haven't tested it. But anyway, create your own character. Make him very old, or make him 70-ish. He's still fertile. If you some traits, if you're going for high rolls, some traits will actually lower the customization points cost if you put them in there. So if you're really coming close and you got decently high points, you lower the cost by adding a trait and then backing the points off, and it actually costs you less to have that trait. So there's number 3. Number 4, you can change your religion or change your culture, and changing your culture can give you the bonus to have all the culture within your realm and getting technology faster. Changing your religion can make it to where you can reform faster. So there's number 4. Number 5, starting locations, the duchy or the kingdom. Basically bringing yourself a level up to make you appear more powerful, to get more powerful allies. There's those 2 locations I showed you, Bohemia and the island there that's at the bottom of of Norway. Are both great examples of those starting locations. You might find some more. Another thing is the location for reforming. Vitalism, all of the religious sites are right there. It's easier to reform under Vitalism, especially than something like Catholic or Russian. That's all over the place. And then don't forget the bonus. If you're being raided or a lot, try leaving your weakest champion at your home base. He will discourage people from raiding you, guaranteed. So there you have it. Everybody enjoy your Crusader Kings. Have fun with the new flavor patch, the Northern Lords. I'm working on a campaign right now, and I will have more episodes coming with that, and more tips coming up as well. I'm Dr. Detroit, so hit that subscribe button and check back for more information coming up.